new baby has been born. Colin Jost of Saturday Night Live and Scarlett Johannsen just had their baby.
I think they both pronounce the J's.
Oh, do they? Is it Jost and Johannsen?
I think so.
What did I call them? Yost and
Jost.
Johannsen? I was trying to do it exactly right. I was trying to get them just right.
Yeah.
Yost Johannsen. Or Jost and Johannsen. That's why we can never have
They
guests.
named their baby Juan?
They named their baby Cosmo.
No.
Yes.
No, they didn't.
They did.
That's not just a nickname, is it?
No, it's not a nick. That is a real name.
Is it short for cosmonaut?
No, it's
Cosmopolitan.
Well, his Colin Jost went on his social media and said, "We have had a baby. We love him very much. We have decided to name him Cosmo." So people started saying it's like
He is a comic.
he is.
He is. He's a comedy writer.
Mm-hmm.
Any chance this is a yoke?
I don't think you yoke about the name of your child, do you? A new baby, you named him Cosmo. Because the only time I've ever heard of anybody being named Cosmo was from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Of course.
From the episode Seinfeld.
And that was the secret, right? For the first 6 or 7 years?
Yeah.
They just called him Kramer.
Yeah. This is the scene where they reveal Cosmo Kramer's name.
I got the first name. Cosmo. Cosmo? Cosmo. Cosmo. Oh, what's so funny? All right, okay. So you know the name now, huh? The cat is out of the bag. I'm Cosmo Kramer, and that's who I'm going to be. From now on, I'm Cosmo.
You know, I thought that was a funny episode, but I was disappointed they gave him a first name. I always thought it was cool that he was just Kramer, and no one would ever know it, you know?
20 years from now,
Yeah.
where we are.
Yeah, right, yeah.
You still wouldn't know the name.
Right, or maybe you reveal it on the last episode or something, you know, but when they did it, it was like, oh, okay, you know, it was just different after
That's a
that.
great last episode.
Yeah,
kind of twist.
Reveal like in the last scene, they when they're called to court, they can say, "Okay, Cosmo Kramer," and everybody and everybody looks at him.
And
you
then
know?
fades to black.
Exactly, that would be kind of cool. These two, Jost Johannsen, are going with Cosmo not for comedic effect.
I would not be shocked if they walked that back.
What's Cosmo? Is that kind of an Italian name?
Maybe.
Maybe they bonded over Seinfeld.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be.
I saw.
She's younger than the show.
Yeah, she's.
Is she 30?
Is she
32?
No, she's getting up
I
now.
thought she was 40.
Is she 40?
I think she's been around for
or
a
late
while.
30s.
Maybe, yeah.
We saw her in that movie
I think she's
Bill
older
Murray.
than him.
With Bill Murray a long time. That was Lost in
She was
Translation.
18 then, wasn't she? 19?
Yeah, isn't that right?
I'll look up and I'll see.
Let's see what.
Oh, yeah, she's 36.
You said getting up.
All right.
Something's getting up.
Getting up.
Is that getting up? Okay.
Well, it's not 40.
She's getting up. She's not 40 yet. So she's not. She's getting up. She's not
Oh,
up.
I'm wrong. Colin Jost is older. He's 39. I didn't think he
thought
looks
was
younger.
You thought he was younger.
So he's, 3 years older than she is?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. There's a movie, I can't remember what it I think it, I want to say it's 2 Days in the Valley. I think that's it. There's a character named Dosmo.
Mm-hmm. Dosmo.
Yeah, and it's played by Danny Aiello. I think he's an Italian guy. I think it might be 2 Days in the Valley, and he is Dosmo.
Let me give you some interesting name facts. All right. These are interesting.
All right.
Brittany is no longer a popular name. Only 99 babies last year born in the U.S. were named Brittany.
What comes to mind when somebody says Brittany?
Britney Spears.
Absolutely.
And
Not the region of France?
Britannia.
Not to me. Britney Spears is now back in the news, so they're predicting that maybe the
I
name
bet you'll see an uptick.
I bet it shoots up.
because it was down to 99 babies in the U.S. last year named Brittany, which is pretty low.
Now, is that just spelled that way? Because I've seen, parents spell their names
Well, that's true.
multiple ways now, like Brittany
Yeah, that's
with
true.
multiple E's.
I bet there's more different spellings because this is the way Britney Spears spells her name. And I bet
T-N-E-Y.
Correct. Ezekiel is now a more popular name than Robert in the U.S. Ezekiel was 65th. Robert was 80th last year.
Dang.
It's very biblical.
Or the Dallas Cowboys.
That's what I thought Ezekiel Elliott.
Well, I don't know where Ezekiel Elliott got the name
he had a
from.
pretty good rookie year.
Oh,
Yeah.
But I think that's OT, isn't it?
I
Old
got
Testament.
I have to, I have to do more Bible study. We had a Bible study last night with my daughter.
Oh, no.
She's worried that we're not going to make it into heaven, so she said,
This wasn't an emergency? Was this regularly scheduled?
This was an emergency. She said, well, with the swear jar filling up quickly, she said, I need to get everybody together. And she read a couple of passages from Revelations.
Thank God.
Which one of you fell asleep first?
I said,
Is she back in school?
It's a big deal. Yes, she's back in school.
Okay. I was going to say it'd be a neat little summer little reading thing to learn maybe she knows them. Every book of the Bible, in order.
She knows a lot of them. She's really
I bet she could do it.
She's very
Oh,
spirited.
she could do it.
And you ask about school. The other day was the first day of school.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go with my wife to pick her up. My wife got to pick her up. And so she's like, I'm getting ready to go. And I said, well, can I go with you? And she said, well, you can go with me, but you have to not be yourself. And I said,
Is this how?
yeah.
You can go, but you have to not be yourself.
And I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, you know how it's going to be. She's going to get in the car, and you're going to say, hey, how was it? And you're going to be all over this and that. And I want you to tone it down. My wife said that to me.
Where is this coming from?
Well, she thinks that
Because it's middle school?
yes, it's middle
eighth
school.
grade?
Seventh grade.
Do you celebrate her too much?
That's what my wife says. My wife says, I want to get the real scoop of how it went today instead of you go because
Pulling out all the good parts.
pulling out the good part. Exactly. And I said, well,
This is not right.
what do you mean? And she said, well, when it comes to your daughter, especially, she's like, I'm getting real conversation from her, and you'll come into the room and go, ah, and then she puts on a show like
Let's
everything.
make fondue.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Daddy's hungry.
Yeah, right. And she's like,
Yeah, you're fun dad.
She called me Good Time Charlie.
Nobody's called
See?
you that.
And she said, I want you to put your Good Time Charlie act in the rearview mirror and be real.
Well, because she knows too.
Ouch.
She
Yeah.
knows when she sees you
Oh.
how to work Good
Put on
Time
a show,
Charlie.
right,
So
exactly.
she knows to dance around. And suddenly you're at the frozen yogurt shop.
Exactly.
Getting a $20 frozen yogurt for her first day of school.
That's a fact.
Without knowing any real information.
That's right. And she just says everything went great. And I go, whoa, good. She says, you're too surface. I want to get down to the real nitty gritty of how are your friends? How did it go? How are the teachers?
I'm going to paraphrase a song that I know Weather Dave likes. Sounds like Good Time Charlie's got the blues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you go?
I did go. And then so we get there. She opens the door. She goes, hey. I went,
Eeyore?
Yeah.
I know school.
Good Time Charlie's sick.
Oh. How many froyos do you want?
Yeah. And then, she said, I had a really good day. I was like, really? Was it really good?
Did your wife just look at you like, don't say a word?
Yeah, she did the whole time. And then we'd been in the car for a few minutes. That's when I was buying that paint. And so I said, well, it sounds like everything went great. And my wife went, and put, don't do it. So I had to be more muted.
Yes.
Are any of your friends changing their pronouns?
Right. Some of that is what I had to go with.
She wants to have more adult conversation with her.
She thinks that she puts on an act around me to make me think everything's okay. And really, sometimes she has problems.
Do you think part of the issue is, and I realize I have to tread lightly, is that she's growing up. She's
Yes.
13.
Yes.
And
The worst
you
stuff. Right, that's
may, in your mind, still look at and treat her like a little girl.
And she plays the part of a little girl around me because, it's the old...
But that's not real. She's
that's
acting
not
and
real.
you're acting.
She's acting, I'm acting, everything. I don't want... Out of sight, out of mind if it's not going well. And so my wife
But this is a
said,
traumatic time, especially for girls.
tough
Yeah.
Age
Plus-
13.
exactly.
Yeah,
Plus,
your wife would know.
her grandmother just passed away last year. We moved. That was hard on her.
Yeah.
But, she never really reveals what's really going on with her to me. She does.
You're Good Time Charlie.
I'm Good
Yeah.
Time Charlie. And so she's like,
You're
better put
fondue.
Yes, she said put fondue in a hat and be real so I can get the real scoop on how school was.
Yeah.
So I went, and it seemed to go well, and I just stayed quiet and drove, and that's all I could do. But I wanted to be there for her on that first day.
Well, that's too bad she squelched you.
Completely.
Yeah, but it's a necessary step. Dave.
She said it was. She started by saying, "I said, can I go?" She said, "Can you take some constructive criticism?" And I said,
In what
well,
life?
you know the answer
For
to
the
that.
carpool line?
For the carpool line.
You enter from the north and exit from the south.
Yeah, the constructive criticism to go
Yeah.
pick her up. I wasn't expecting that. She goes, "Yeah, you can go, but stifle your personality. Stifle it." So that's basically what she said.
Oh, no.
Let me give you another name factoid. This is interesting.
I don't know.
Hannah is a popular girl's name, but Nova, N-O-V-A, is now more popular than Hannah. Last year, it ranked 38th. Nova and Hannah ranked 39th. These are name facts.
Where do you
Based
think
on,
Nova's coming from?
I can't figure it out. Is there anything
Is
popular?
that a Game of Thrones thing or something else?
Oh, it could be.
But Game of Thrones has been over 5 years now, so that's kind of.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes a while for them to work their way
To
up.
get into the top top 50, top 100.
Denise is one of the fastest rising baby names for girls. It dropped out of the top 1,000 5 years ago, but now it's surging back. And Denise with 2 S's is even more popular.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't care for that. 2 S's.
I don't either.
That's over the top.
I agree.
To me, that's an old school sounding name.
Denise?
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, one of the nuns at my school was Sister Denise.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is it coming back? No idea.
Can't figure that.
Somebody named Denise. I didn't realize, but apparently in popular culture, these names do come around.
Match.
I don't know of a Denise. The name Legend is more popular than George. 2,700 boys named George last year. 2,800 named Legend. Literally, that's Legend is their name. That's setting your kid up to really have to live up to something.
That's a lot. To lay on a
Well,
kid.
you're going to have a King George one day.
Oh, you sure are. You're going to have a King
I don't know
George.
if how old is he? 7 or 8?
Yeah, so it'll be a while, but yeah, you will eventually. One of the most popular boy names in South Dakota is Maverick. In South Dakota only. It's 49th overall, but it's 4th in South Dakota. Serenity is more popular than Lauren. More kids last year were named Serenity than Lauren.
Gosh, there are tons of Laurens. There's whole generations of Laurens.
It's falling. 3 times more girls named Serenity than Lauren last year.
Can't explain that.
I can't explain that either. Axel is now more popular than Adam. The name Adam peaked in the 80s at 18th and is now 96th. Axel is 72nd most popular. Axl Rose.
The only one I know.
Yeah, that's the one I know too, but he's 55, isn't he?
Yeah.
60?
My brother, he's the one with the 16-year-old. I think his 16-year-old son had friends who were named Axel and Angus. Very metal.
That's cool.
For the rock bands.
But are there, these younger these movies that are coming out that are superhero movies, do they have these names in them? Serenities and Axels? Are they villains or?
Yeah.
I don't watch them, so I don't know.
Serenity.
Not really, no.
Yeah, I do see. There's a woman at my gym named Serenity.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and
Does she spell it the standard way? Or with an I on the
I'm
end?
not positive. I think it's a Y. But they say sometimes they're like, "Hey, way to go, Serenity."
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
It's a lot of syllables when you got to call someone out.
Yeah.
Serenity.
Good job,
They
Serenity.
might call him, I don't want to say it around my phone. Siri.
Maybe.
Oh.
Dior is one of the fastest growing names for boys and girls. It rose 108 spots for boys and girls last year.
Now, that's a brand.
Dior.
I'm not surprised by that.
Like-
that I get.
Like Christian Dior.
If
Yeah.
you watch the Little League World Series, ESPN has been showing, of course, the lead up to the Little League World Series, and all the boys headed to Pennsylvania. They also showed the Little League World Series of softball, which ended last night. Greenville, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
A team from Oklahoma beat a team from my hometown, Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
And there were 2 or 3 girls with the same name as some of the boys that are playing in the World Series. Peyton. It is now at almost 50-50. Peyton. If you see the name Peyton on a piece of paper, you don't know if this person is a male or female.
No, I don't know. When you said Peyton, I thought girl, but then, of course, there's Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. And there's, I
And
would
in
not
today's society, it doesn't matter.
wonder what name is like the most 50-50. It might
The most
be
universal?
It might be Peyton or Jamie.
Jamie.
Could
be.
But,
Yeah,
I don't
Jamie.
know which one is the most universal.
Back in my day, it was Korea's.
Well, Chris for sure, long
Yeah.
ago.
Of course, that was short for a female.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Christine?
Right, or
like Pat.
Yes, or Jean, but they spelled it differently, boy and girl. This is the Can You Cut 'Em Some Slack, a theater near London. Biggie would call this a classic mix-up. They're getting ready for the Rocky Horror Picture Show, trying to get that back in theaters this year, for Halloween. So they ordered a bunch of wigs that the Tim Curry character in the movie wears. I've never seen the movie. You all are familiar with it.
Still?
I've not seen the movie. No.
You'll go to your grave without it then.
I guess so. The
You get smoked up, you'll go. Once the 13-year-old's out of the house.
Now, wait a minute.
First Halloween after.
Wait a minute now. There's no... Again, those days are long gone, of course.
Yeah, I think if Kelly was going to go, he'd have gone
Could have
smoked
gone
up already by now.
Would have gone already for the Rocky Horror Picture Show. But this theater in London, we're ordering wigs. The character's name is Dr. Frank Infurter. And so they ordered, 416 Frank Infurter wigs. But they got 416 Frankfurters. They put them hot dogs. And so they're trying to...
Who's the loser?
Really? No
Well, come
loser.
on.
No loser here. The theater owner went to social media and said, "We just got 52 cans of hot dogs."
Yeah.
And so we need to change his order.
We appear to have been sent cans of Frankfurters instead of Frankenfurter wigs. What happened?
The same supplier that we get our party food and our party supplies from, and I don't know whether there might have been a typo or some miscommunication, but instead of Frankenfurter wigs, we've got Frankfurters. 52?
Yeah.
52. Pretty much how it happened.
Yeah.
Frankfurter. Yes. I cut some slack to the people that sent the Frankfurters because, as Dave said, who loses here?
Nobody.
This is a win. This is a win-win for
Everybody wants. Nobody says no to a hot dog.
How about this man in Tulsa? Can you cut him some slack? A Tulsa fire and rescue team, they had it reported several times that a body was floating in the Arkansas River yesterday. So they came to either rescue or recover the body that was floating in the river. Crews took the rescue boat out, and when they got to the man, he took out earbuds and said, "Oh, yeah, I'm floating."
What's going on?
Can I help you?
I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often.
He was in the Arkansas River, and people did see him floating out there. And he said, "Yeah, I nap out here sometimes." And he was on his back, just kind of bobbing in and out of consciousness.
Was he on a float?
He was not on a float. He was floating himself. Just
It's like that scene in Jaws, that larger woman out there.
Yeah, just
the fin
float,
going
just
around her,
floating.
she's
That's
just
right.
floating.
Yeah, that's right. Tulsa firefighters say the river is low right now, but can be a potentially dangerous area, so they warned him not to float there again. He said he likes to go out there sometimes and just enjoy the river.
Let the man float.
Yeah.
Let him float.
He said, find an alternate way to float or somewhere else to float. Where
An alternate way.
Face down.
Well,
That's dead man's.
an alternate place to float, I guess, would be the more accurate thing. There's a guy also filmed joyriding on top of a car going 85 miles per hour, standing on the top of an Escalade in Detroit, going down the highway, joyriding and wearing chains so he couldn't fall off. But the video is pretty scary, and people beside him were, like, of course, afraid that he was going to fall off. Some witnesses said it was the craziest thing they've ever seen. Literally on top of a car going 85.
There's a guy on top of the car, and I was like, nah. He was doing about 85 because I was trying to play catch up. I done seen a lot of crazy things, but that one right there, definitely top 5. Don't try this at home.
They have
Learned lesson.
arrested the man for doing
They found
that.
him?
They have found him and arrested him.
Is this something that was in one of the Fast and Furiouses, maybe? I don't know.
That's what happened. I don't know, but
Do you arrest the driver too?
Have to.
I think you
I
have
would.
A
to.
whole lot.
I mean, talk about dangerous.
What about
Yeah.
a passenger? The Chris Kelly seat.
No.
Not
No.
driving, not on the roof.
No.
What if they put the safety chains on him and help hook him up?
Then yes, I think I think that.
Yeah, or you're holding one end of the chain.
I think the whole lot's guilty.
Probably
Everybody
so.
in the vehicle?
Everybody.
Even the passenger.
Yeah.
P1 Daniel says, thought you could relate to this. An email. Can you cut him some slack? Today, my idiot 16-year-old son, I don't know why he thinks I could relate to this,
Well,
incinerated his shoes in the oven. They were wet, and he told me he wanted to quick dry them. So now the whole house smells like charred, sweaty feet.
ugh.
Thought you could relate. I could see my
My
son.
God.
Rubber.
I could see my son doing something like
Yeah.
that. That sounds like something he would do.
It does.
He's
no
now,
offense.
Yeah, well,